I'm Danielle with Put a Finish on It, and I'm here today to talk about disabilities in fiction. When I studied English at university, I kept hearing that we all want to see or read representations of ourselves in books or film. And it wasn't something I really understood. I mean, I enjoyed watching movies and reading stories about different kinds of people. But as time went on and I look back on it, I realized it's true. We all do want to see representations of ourselves, kind of validation or reassurance that we're not alone. I was born with mild cerebral palsy, and I do realize that for me, whenever I see a movie or see a book jacket that talks about someone with a disability, I automatically zero in on it. I'm super interested and want to see what it's about, even if it's not my disability in particular. Now I have a disability themed shelf on Goodreads with 50 books in it, so please go check those out if you're interested. I do include books about deafness in that shelf, even though I know that members of the deaf community don't consider deafness a disability. For me, the word disability is not a judgment or a value statement. It simply means not able, so I do include deafness in that category simply because deafness is not able to hear. I do have a few books I want to mention that do feature characters with CP. The first is Stuck in Neutral by Terry Truman. This is about a boy with severe CP who is nonverbal, and his dad wonders if he should kill his son to set him free from his disabled body. So you do get to hear the thoughts of the main character, and that's a very interesting perspective. The second is Petey by Ben Mickelson. Petey is about the story of a man who grew up in an institution because it was, back in the day where it was very common to institutionalize people with disabilities, and he meets in the institution someone who realizes that he's not mentally retarded and starts to communicate with him. And I found that a good story. It's a children's book or middle grade book. Another book I do remember really loving is Are You Alone on Purpose by Nancy Werlin. This features a paraplegic and a 14-year-old girl whose brother is autistic. So she befriends the paraplegic son of a rabbi. So you've got all sorts of interesting themes going on in there, and I really remember enjoying this one. Let me say that I'm glad we've moved away from stories with mysterious illnesses like those in The Secret Garden and Heidi, where all it took was practice and determination and a spunky friend, and then Colin and Clara could walk. Yay! I do feel like we've gotten better in recent years having more characters with disabilities in books, and especially in YA. I feel like that a traumatic injury like a car accident or something, having the character end up in a wheelchair sort of lends itself to fiction. It has the built-in problem and the built-in character development that is going to come as the character works through this new, way of being in the world. But now you've often got two scenarios. The angry kid adjusting to their new life and their new physical limitations, or the inspiring kid triumphing over adversity with quirky intelligence and charm. I have read and enjoyed both the angry kid stories and the inspiring kid stories, but people are more complex and more interesting than that. I'll put a link to a great TED Talk about disabilities and inspiration below. It's funny, and I hope you take the time to watch it. On one hand, I want to read stories about characters with disabilities and what their life is like with those conditions. And on the other hand, I want to read stories about characters that maybe have a disability, but that's not what the story is about, because they are more than just their disability. Have you read any stories about characters with disabilities that strike that balance? Also, I wanted to mention that a while ago I did a dialogue tag, and I really enjoy dialogue. I notice it. I think it's the best way to get to know a character sometimes. And in my tag, I ask for 3 examples of your favorite dialogue that you can share with us in a way, act it out, read it, whatever you like. And I really enjoy seeing other people's favorite dialogue, so go check that out if you're interested. Thanks for watching.